Hello.
Good evening.
Neratovice, Bohemia, Czechia.
Exactly.
I'm from Israel.
And I'm from central Bohemia. It's like Neratovice, it's like 15 kilometers from Prague. So Prague is just behind the hill.
And I'm 15 kilometers from Tel Aviv.
Nice. Actually, I have one friend who is originally from Tel Aviv, and he's living in Prague.
He's cool, because it's cost to live in Tel Aviv.
He told me that Israel in general is very expensive.
I don't know how to say it. Saint place, too saint place, even.
Because in Prague, comparing to Israel, it's much cheaper. So.
Of course.
He told me also that when he was in Israel, so also for doctors, he had to pay a lot for doctors, and here in Czech Republic, we don't pay because we have this national healthcare, like in most
when I was need to make my teeth,
that's something different. That's something different. A dentist for dentist, you have to pay here.
So I took ticket to Ukraine, to Odessa. I made everything there, and after I came, I just counted that it was cheaper than to make one teeth in Israel.
Yeah. Well, I know because my friends from Ukraine, they told me that before war they are living here, but before war they were normally going to their dentists in Ukraine, especially if they were from Western Ukraine, like Lviv, and
we even have dentist tours.
Sorry?
We have dentist tours.
Yeah. So you are originally from Ukraine?
I was born in Lugansk, but in 16 I came to Odessa.
Just I see the flag, so that's why I'm asking.
21 years I lived in Odessa.
So by the sea.
Yes.
Yeah, the problem is we don't have a sea.
I live 15 kilometers from the sea, but I wasn't on sea 2 years, I think.
That's strange, but yeah, it happens. Well,
yes.
if we want to go to sea, so usually we are going to Mediterranean, like Croatia, Italy, because to Poland or Germany, it's a bit colder, there.
Yes, of course. But in Odessa it was the same. I lived 10 minutes from sea, but I never was on sea. For what?
No,
sea
actually,
is every time there. I can go tomorrow.
Yeah, well, actually, for me, it's not the best to go to this because I don't like hot weather. So
yes,
I prefer to spend the holidays somewhere in, I don't know, Norway, Sweden. Next year we are planning with my friend from Germany. We are planning to go to Greenland.
Oh, cool.
The only problem is that it's extremely expensive to go to Greenland. Not to go there, but to stay there because there is everything expensive. The accommodation, food. So
for me, it's just impossible. I hate cold, and I came to Israel because everyone says that in Israel it's summer every time.
Yeah.
Every day it's summer, but all apartments, all banks, all factories, all transport, everywhere is conditioner 18 degrees. Well, I feel cold in Israel every time, every minute.
Actually,
I just don't see this hot. I never was on the street when it's hot. I'm
For
inside.
me, the best weather is like -5, -10 outside, because inside is warm. Yeah, of course, the heating and everything, and so if it's like frost, snow, then it's perfect for me.
It must be.
A lot of people, they say they are like losing energy during the winter. I'm absolutely opposite. It gives me energy. Like the winter gives me energy, So. People are
when I was little in Lugansk, I saw -40 After this, I was near Kiev, -27, but -10 in Odessa. It's much worse than -40 in Lugansk.
Can be because it's close to the sea and the wind from the sea and everything.
It's
And Czech Republic,
nowhere
we are
to hide.
in the middle of mountains, so
It's
not that
painful
big.
to think. It's painful to be.
And
But
how
it's
long are
one
you?
time.
Sorry, how long are you living in Israel already?
7 years.
So it's not that long.
Yeah, yes.
Relatively, of course. So.
We have the words Ale Hadash. It means someone who came and like new coming. But I'm not new and not old.
Yeah,
I'm
like
in the middle of
in
this.
English it's like newcomer. Yeah.
Yes, I'm in the middle. No, not too new, not too old.
So, well, actually, you are planning to spend the rest of the life in Israel.
Actually, I'm thinking to live in two countries, Israel and Ukraine. I want to make this bridge economically and sociologically because I love Israel, but I love Ukraine on the same level.
Of course, it's still like if you were born there, so it's still like your home, So
Yes. I'm saying that
also,
my body in Israel, but my soul in Ukraine.
Yeah, that's
First, what
understandable.
I'm writing in the morning, it's news from Ukraine, and after it, news from Israel.
Actually, yeah, I'm doing almost the same, but it's because of I'm former army officer. I was serving 20 years in the army, so for me it's like professional interest what's happening on the front in Ukraine and everything. So first I'm watching the news from Ukraine in the morning, and second from the local news from the Czech Republic, but also because of here is not happening a lot. So there are
So
not
you are
like
musician?
many. Sorry,
You are musician?
I'm what?
Musician?
No, army officer.
Yeah. I hear like I don't know what I hear. Like
Army officer.
orchestra, army
That's why
orchestra.
I'm interested about the situation in Ukraine. So
I
that's
hear
why.
something like army orchestra. Officer, I hear
Well,
like
no,
orchestra.
I can't play any instruments, so no.
Understand.
So
Of course, it's important. You're not too far from this place, and
actually, today they were the news that Israel is negotiating with European Union, with some countries from European Union, about to sell the Merkava tanks.
Yes, it's like first time, but not the first. But someone saying first, but someone saying there was some with Morocco, but
because
it's the same movement.
But it will be better also for Ukraine because of course we can't sell them the Merkava tanks. Also Israel, not because there is the danger that the Russians they can capture the Merkava tanks and they can because there are some secret systems and everything. But if we as some European countries will buy them, we can sell to Ukraine like Leopards.
I understand the system. Yes, it will be like this.
So that's it. So it will be better for both sides, like for Ukraine, also for Israel, because Israel will receive the money, of course, for Europe because of the security, and for Ukraine because they can receive the other Western tanks, like Leopards, Leclercs, Challengers, and others. So, yeah.
Yes. I even read it about it, like we are disturbing because of a new East weapon that can take Russia and give to Iran.
Yes, exactly. That was written in the news. Like that. That's why the Israel can't sell these Merkava tanks directly to Ukraine, or even the Western countries if they will buy them from Israel. They also can't send it to Ukraine because of the danger of the Russians like re-export or not the tanks but the technologies. They can discover the technologies in the tanks, and they can sell it to Iran. So that's it.
What I'm really like, today I met a guy. He is from Azerbaijan. He was born in Ukraine in Crimea. Now he's in Germany, and he said Slava Ukraini. I said, oh, really nice, Героям Slava, but I am from Israel. He sees that I'm like from Ukraine. I said, no.
It's like me,
Actually, I'm from Israel, and we talk about it like we have official. I don't know how to say it. Official information about helping of Azerbaijan to Ukraine and help from Israel to Ukraine, and not official. Because officially Israel helping with humanitarian needs and
something like Switzerland.
But for first meeting in Ramstein, from first meeting, Israel on this meeting. There is not about humanitarian.
Well, it's similar like Switzerland, because even now Switzerland, they made the agreement with the German government that they will sell some, I don't know if it's like BMPs or tanks, I'm not sure, to Germany, and Germany will modernize them and send to Ukraine. So Switzerland is not sending anything to Ukraine. They are selling that to Germany, so it's German tanks after that, So in Germany is in NATO, it's not neutral, so yes, Germany can sell it to Ukraine.
No,
so even like this, Switzerland as a neutral country can help with the weapons to Ukraine.
Yeah, a few times I saw a new phrase, Putin effect. It means that every country in Europe buying a weapon. He thinks that he will destroy all this weapon system
because
in
nobody
Europe,
knew, nobody knew before how weak is the Russian army,
Yes.
And when the war in Ukraine started, so Europe and also America and all the world, they saw that the Russian army, it was only on the paper, So it was like very strong and very modern army, but as we can see in Ukraine, it was only on the paper, just to show to Putin, yes, we have the best tanks, we have the best planes, we have the best soldiers, but in real, it's just like it's the army like which is using the tactics and strategy and the training like 70, 80 years old, So you can see the tactics now. They are sending those soldiers against the trenches just to die, in the waves, like in the First World War, not like in the Second World War.
Biggest problem to strategic, because we are using logic. If we do something, they will do something, but it's not working with Russia.
Yeah,
They're not using logic.
And the Russian army, they don't care about the lives of the soldiers, because the Western tactics, and the Western armies, they are first. What is the most important is the life of the soldier.
Of course.
That's the most important, because you can buy new tank, you can buy new plane, even it's extremely expensive, but you can't buy new soldier, like make new soldier, like it's a human life, So that's absolutely different point of view from Russia, because they are just saying, well, we have a lot of people, so let's die, we can like Stalin was doing, just tending to die. And we value every life, So for us, it's important, especially for the smaller European nations, like for example Czech nation. We are just 10 millions. Yeah, it was also funny. I was speaking with Russians here on chat roulette, and I was telling them, because they were telling me that they never invaded any country. So I was like, and Czechoslovakia, 1968, nothing. No, we were not killing people there. I was like, more than 200 people died a year because of the Soviet invasion. But it's only 200. That's nothing for us. Like even if it was one person,
Oof. I just wanted to say, before Independence Day, we have a day of memory of fallen soldiers. And there is a big wall where we can write every name of every soldier who was fought for Israel It's 24,000 and some count of them from 1864
Yeah.
till today. We know every name.
Yeah, but you know that's the
And for
different point
Russia,
of view, like the Western world and
200,000,
the
2
Russian.
million, 8 million, 9 million. Wow.
For them, it's nothing, you know. So when they were like almost 300 people, they died here. Like it was like 280, I think, you know. And for them, it's nothing. For us, it's like big tragedy, especially if it was made by like aggressive invasion, you know, to peaceful country. We didn't attack anybody, like you know, like Ukraine, you know. We didn't even in the year 1968. We even didn't want to join NATO. We wanted to be neutral and democratic,
Yes.
and absolutely peaceful country, you know, former Czechoslovakia. But you know, Soviets, they didn't want us to be free and democratic and independent, you know. So
It was the biggest mistake of Ukraine in 2014. Ukraine didn't have soldiers on the border with Russia. No one thinking about that Russia will invade.
Well, you know, because yeah, in the year 1940, when there was the end of the Second World War in Europe, you know, so a lot of people here, they were thankful to Soviet army, like the Red Army in that time, because they finished with the Nazi regime. Yeah, but the problem was they just restored another totalitarian regime. You know,
Yes.
so it was not proper liberation, because before the Nazi regime we were
Occupation
democratic
with Germany or occupation with Soviet Union.
Yeah, the only difference was that the Nazis, they were killing people according to race ratio,
Yes.
like according to race, and the Russians, they were killing the people according to the class, you know. But it's the same, you know. So the same
Absolutely
system.
the same. Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
what we thinking, what
so
we
for us, it was not liberation. It was just they changed the Nazi system for the communist system, you know. But the Czech people and the Slovak people, we knew how is it to live in democracy, because before the war we had the proper democracy. We were the only proper democratic state in Central Europe, you know, the former Czechoslovakia. So we still knew that there is something wrong with the system, with the communist or socialist system, you know. So our people, they knew that, and we were able to watch like the West German TV, Austrian TV, because it was close, you know. So it was very difficult for the Soviet and the communist propaganda in general to make some impact on us, because we saw how is it in the Western countries, you know. So for me as a children, you know, I was born in 1973, and from the childhood I knew that communists are bad, you know, that there is better system than the communist system. But most of the Russian people, they didn't know that democracy can be better for them, you know.
Yes. They never saw nothing but USSR and Russia. They
Yeah, just the
never was
authority, totalitarian regime, and that's it, you know. Even here before the republic, when
hard
we were
arm can was for.
but even here before the republic, when we were in the Austrian Empire, it was not like proper democracy, but it was like constitutional monarchy, and it was like it was not totalitarian. It was almost democratic, you know. So we had the political parties, we had the parliament in Vienna, you know. Yeah, of course, it was not nice to criticize the emperor, but the ministers and the government, that was absolutely normal to criticize them, you know. But in Russia was
For me, really funny that we lived 2.5 years without government. Absolutely, we was election after election and election again, but 2.5 years we was absolutely without government.
But you know, but the
And
country is
there is
still working. Like
yes,
you know,
everyone
yeah,
alive.
that's normal in democracy. It's normal, because
Absolutely.
you don't need a king, you know, or somebody to rule the country, because the institutions, they are working even without government.
We still don't have constitution.
Sorry?
We still don't have constitution.
Can be.
We have laws and everything working. We still thinking about maybe we need constitution. Maybe need, yes. Okay, after a year we will think about it again.
You know, it's not bad to have constitution, but if it's working without that, so
Yes.
why not? You know,
If
if you will feel that it's necessary, so you can make a constitution. Well, if it will be necessary. If it's not necessary, and you can live without that, so why not? You know, so it's your country, so that's like, do whatever you want with your country. And that's what should do the Russians. You know, they should care about their country and not about other countries. You know?
And really interesting to me too, that in Israel I can ask someone on the street name of president of Israel.
You can. What about his name?
It's Herzog. Who knows?
Yeah,
Who
I know
knows?
Herzog.
Yeah, yes, you know because you read it somewhere. But in Israel, not everyone knows. Okay, it's Herzog.
Yeah, because
okay.
you know, especially in the countries they don't have the presidential. My country also doesn't have presidential system. We have president. You know, we know him because here president is more like a representative person. You know.
Yeah, so
he doesn't have the real power. It's like in Germany, because just a few people know who is the president of Germany. You know,
the ceremonial function, he's opening something, he's speaking with leaders.
He's going abroad, you know, for negotiate or some important meetings, you know, or something, you know. And he's here in Czech Republic. He's like a moderator if there are some fights between political parties, you know. So he's speaking with all the leaders, you know, to calm them down, you know, and that's it, you know. So because the real power has the parliament, of course, and the government, the executive power. So the prime minister is more important here than the president. Like in many European countries, like Germany, of course, in Germany is also more important the Bundeskanzler than the president, you know. Absolutely same in Austria. So yes. France, they have something like 50-50. There is like a semi-presidential system, you know. But in most European countries, is the parliamentary system, which is okay for me.
For me too. But we have some problem in Israel with it now, because it's like one big party that took all government. And leader of this party is Prime Minister Netanyahu. As we have problem close to problem of Ukraine before war. Like one big party took all government and no one can do nothing with it.
We are like 1 year after
we are waiting for election.
In my country, there was before the last elections, there was the like populists party, which is also not good, you know. But fortunately, after the election, we have like right. It's not a right wing. It's more like centristic. It's like coalition with the liberal parties and like center right, you know, not really right wing parties, you know. So it's more liberal. It's more liberal. So it's fine now, but they are not populists, you know. So, and we need it now if it's like a kind of crisis, you know, like inflations and everything, you know. So we need like the government which is not afraid to say even the bad things, that maybe we will have higher taxes or something, you know, and not just populist like, yeah, we will give you money, we will give money to pensioners, you know, more money we will give, you know, and then we will be in debt, you know. So that's bad, of course. That's the populists, of course, or socialists. So that's it.
Was interesting this last election. Orthodox Jews made coalition with Arabs. We wasn't sure.
I saw. Sorry, I heard that the Orthodox Jews they don't even recognize the Israel as a state.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
No, not every of them, but some kind.
Yeah, but the very like the
Yeah. We have it.
how to say
In parliaments too. They're working in parliament, but saying that there is no exist Israel. Really interesting.
yeah, and unfortunately
And
here
our left power made right thing, and our right parties made absolutely left thing. Everyone was like
yeah, that
this.
was in the populist party
Orthodox
which was here
Jews
before.
with Muslims, and left parties saying right things. It was really
Fortunately,
interesting.
in my country, the religion is absolutely not important, and it's actually separated from the government. You know, the religion and
It
government,
must
it
to
shouldn't be
be.
together. It's like separated.
It must
So
be where we're living in
yeah, because the
21st
religion is like
century.
if
What religion? What do they want?
because, for religion you are if you want to be religious, okay, go to church or to synagogue if you are Jewish,
Mm-hmm.
but why government? Government should be secular, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can be religious and be in the government, but religion is your personal thing. You can't tell to other people like I'm religious, so you have to follow my rules, the religious rules. No, it's like just for yourself. It's your personal thing. You can be religious, of course. It's your right. It's your basic right. But you have to work for the country. Not for your religion. So that's
You
it.
know how the Orthodox Jews saying when we saying to them, you do nothing, you don't give in money to economic, you don't go into army. What
Hmm.
are you doing? They saying we are praying for victories of Israel army, and what we have
That's a
victories
good
of
excuse. So
victories of Israel army. That's everything working.
So it's the same like if I would be religious and I would say I won't pay taxes, but I will pray for better economic of the country.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's
yeah,
how
yeah. Yeah.
that's the same.
And it's working. Oh,
No, I don't know
really.
if my prayers will work for a better economy.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not, because I'm not religious. So.
Uh-huh. Who
Which,
helped me? Allah or Yahweh
no.
or Jesus
Actually,
Christ? Who helped?
it doesn't mean that I don't believe in anything,
Mm-hmm.
but I just don't like the church as an institution.
Yeah, I understand you.
Yeah, so because yes, I'm from the mixed family, like half, like my mom's side, so they were Catholics, and my
Mm-hmm.
father's side they were Protestants, but not religious, like just like the traditional. But they were not following any rules or something. Yeah, the Christmas mass, once a year they
Mm-hmm.
were going to the church. And my parents they told me if after you will be 18 you will decide by yourself if you want to be baptized or not,
Mm-hmm.
but it's up to you.
Of course.
So of course we are celebrating this like traditional holidays like Christmas, Easter, but not like in very like religious way, more like traditional way.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas trees and all this stuff. By the way, the friend from Tel Aviv I told you, who's living in Prague, he's also having Christmas tree, even he's a Jew,
Yes,
because he
yes.
likes that, because it's nice. So
It's nice. It's really nice. Yes.
yeah, he has, of course, he has also the menorah for Hanukkah, and he has also the Christmas tree
In
because it's nice.
Chinese New Year, in Moroccanian New Year, in Ethiopian New Year, every celebrating we love.
No, we don't celebrate New Year that much. Like I know that in Ukraine it's
Mm-hmm.
more important somewhere than Christmas, of course.
Yes.
But here it's more important than Christmas. Like in
Mm-hmm.
most of European countries, like they are not like Orthodox like Christians, So in like the Catholic and Protestant countries, we are celebrating the main holiday is the Christmas, of course.
There is too much mistakes in this counting because it must be Christmas day when Jesus was born. It's like beginning,
No,
but
the problem
because
is
of
that
this Gregorian and Julian calendar,
the
it's
the
like
basic problem is that Christmas is not originally Christian holiday, So
yes, yeah.
so
And we trying to understand when he was born, when how it happened.
Yeah, because for example, in my country, like 200 years, 2000 years ago, even more, like 2,300 years ago, they were living the Celts, the Celtic tribe of
Yes.
They were called Boii, and they were celebrating Christmas too, but not like Christmas, but they were calling it like the Great Night. Like for example, yeah, in Germany, the name for Christmas is Weihnachten, which means like something like Great Night, and not the name has nothing to do with the Christ. Same like in Czech language, we call it Vánoce, which is from the German Weihnachten. So yeah, and it's like old pagan holiday, from the Celtic times. Also the old Germanic, they were celebrating that, and nothing to do with the Christ. I don't mind it. It's nice holiday. It's like mysterious. Especially in Europe, in the cold areas, if there is snow, Christmas tree, all the lights, gifts, and it's nice. It's just like a mystery, and yeah, it's more connected.
Mixing of these traditions. In Ukraine, the same, like church holidays with the pagan holidays together. And for example, Pesach or Pascha, it's the day when Jews who come from Egypt. It's one story. In Ukraine, Pascha is a day when people made like kulich with eggs,
Yes.
with absolutely different. In Israel, we have matzah, this bread without nothing.
I know.
But in Pascha in Ukraine, it's the same day, the same celebration, absolutely different. People eating
Pascha
a lot.
is the Easter.
Yes.
Yeah, we are celebrating that too. But we are not making this kulich. We made something also like sweet bread, but it's called in Czech. It's called mazanec.
Again,
It's different, but it's also like sweet raisins there, and all this sweet stuff, but it's more from the German and Austrian tradition, It's because we were part of Holy Roman Empire for 1,000 years, so we are very mixed with Germans. So even my family is mixed with Germans, but that's normal. So
absolutely.
It's Central Europe. We are all mixed here, so which is funny when I'm talking with Russians and they are telling me like, "But you are Czech, so you are Slavic." I'm like, "No, I'm using Slavic language, like Czech language is Slavic, but we are particularly Slavic, particularly Celtic, particularly Germanic, and some other nations, so we are really mixed, so we are Central Europeans, but you can't say that we are Slavic. Yes, we are speaking Slavic language, but 200 years ago, we were speaking German. Because the Czech language it was spoken in some villages, so mostly it was the German language. So and they were telling me, so you are speaking Slavic language, so you are Slavic. So I was like, okay, so 200 years ago we were Germanic, or what do you want to say? Because we were speaking German. So.
Absolutely the same. In my class of every language, there was 35, I think, of people from every points on this earth. There was 2 guys from India, like 10 people from South America, a few people from Europe. Wasn't people from Ethiopia, in other class was. We are looking absolutely different. Not every of us look like some other, but we are Jewish.
No, yeah, but it's the same, because I don't like this Russian pan-Slavism because it's just like pseudo theory of 19th century, like it was in the time it was also the pan-Germanism, but for Czechs it was like really like schizophrenic, because we were so mixed to who are we? Like, are we Slavic? Are we Germanic? No, we are Czechs. Well, so That's. But the Russians, they are still living in this 19th century, and they are like, you are Slavic, so you are our brothers. Well, I'm telling them, I'm not your brother because my mom was not sleeping with your dad.
I'm saying if you my brother, I must ask my father what he did in your city.
So my dad is not Russian, my mom is not Russian, so how can I be brother of Russians, you know? So yeah, we can be friends, or if they are behaving like normally, like with other nations, you know. We are friends with Slovaks, we are friends with Polish, we are friends with Germans, we are friends with Austrians. We are not brothers, because that's this Russian brotherhood. It's like it's very dangerous, you know, to be brother of Russians. You know, so you can see that in Ukraine. You know, Russians, they are saying Ukrainians are our brothers, so we will go there and we will kill them. So
I have the same problem. They think that I am Russian. I'm saying my father and my mother are Jewish. I was born in Ukraine. How can I be Russian? But you
because
speak.
They will tell you because of you are able to speak Russian.
Okay, I can speak only Ivrit.
They are also telling me you are Slavic.
You will not understand. I'm talking on your language.
Yeah.
I can speak on Ukrainian. You will not understand. So that's why I'm talking on Russian.
Yeah, and that's the same. If they are telling me that I'm Slavic because I'm speaking Slavic language, I am telling them I can also speak German. You know, I can speak English. You know. So if somebody from Japan will learn Russian, so for Russians he will be Russian because he's speaking Russian. So that's like it's absolutely, they can't use logic, the basic logic. You know, like they tell you are Slavic because of you are speaking Czech language, and that's a Slavic language. Yes, it is Slavic language. It's the best Slavic language. But anyway, if I will speak Czech, Russians, they won't understand me a word. You know, maybe some basic words. You know. But the funny thing is that I can understand Ukrainian, I can understand Russian. I can't speak actively, but I understand them. You know, Ukrainian and Russian. You know, I'm watching some Ukrainian YouTubers, you know, and bloggers, also some Russian ones from the opposition, from the Russian opposition. You know, so that's why I'm able to understand. You know, I'm learning. You know, but they can't understand me. Ukrainians usually they understand something, you know, and a lot of them, they were living here, working here, so they can understand perfectly. But Russians, they have problem to understand Czech language. They have problem to understand Ukrainian language. So yeah.
One more interesting thing. I'm saying with Russian, I'm speaking with them, and all the time they saying you have a flag of Bandera. Bandera was anti-Semite. Bandera was anti-Ukrainian, anti-Russian, anti all the people in the world. And I'm saying, stop. I'm not speaking about it. I'm speaking about war, what you did now, what you now killing people. Bandera was died in 1959. It's absolutely not important. I'm talking with you about this war. But Ukrainian, they all love Bandera. Okay, Ukraine love Bandera. You fighting with Ukraine because of
they are living,
Bandera?
they are living in the past. They are living in the past. They they are also telling me like, yeah, you are friend with Germans, you know, and you are friend with Polish, and you are fighting against Polish, and you are fighting against. Actually, we were not fighting against German because we were part of Holy Roman Empire, you know. So Germans were our like the same citizens, you know. Yes, there was the religious fights like in the 17th century, the 30s were like Protestants against Catholics, you know. Yes, but not Czechs against Germans, you know. Because some Czechs, they were Catholics, so we were fighting. All Europe was fighting.
Yes.
But we are not living in the past, you know. Because if we were living in the past, so we will be still enemies. But we don't want to be enemies. We want to be friends, you know. So of course
we must be against Italian because Roman Empire.
Yes, actually, we were fighting because in that time they were living the Germanic tribes, the Marcomanni, and they were fighting. No, actually, not that much because Marcomanni, they were not big enemies of Romans. But anyways, they were still some fights, you know. But the Russians.
And one more hook. World War II, we saved you. At first, my grandfather was fighting, and maybe he saved them for first.
Yeah.
After this, in Israel was 6 war. No one thinking about this war that was 80 years ago. Even no one thinking about another war. We living today for tomorrow.
Yeah.
We not living
and for this, you have to be
yesterday
friends with
for
your neighbors, like we.
they. Even I don't know how to understand. Yeah, there was a war. There was a big war,
But
bloody.
they are still just talking about the World War II. That they win, but Ukraine also won the World War II because it was Soviet Union, So, but they are still living in the past, and the enemies are still enemies for them, In
Yes,
Europe, we changed. We are collaborating with each other. We are all friends, That's the motto of European Union: united in diversity. Because yes, we are all different nations, in Europe, in European Union, but we are all friends. So I feel if I will decide tomorrow to go to live in Sweden, I can as European citizen. So Sweden will be my home, and yes, because of I'm European, yes, they have different culture. Of course, I will have to respect their culture. I can keep my tradition, of course, some for my private life, like something, but they are not my enemies. Yeah, in the 17th century, Sweden was fighting against Bohemia, the Kingdom of Bohemia, today Czech Republic, but. So because of we were in the war with Sweden 300 years ago, we should be still enemies, or that's like that's stupidity. It's,
What was really funny, like for the ending, one my friend is from Ulpan, where we learned Ibrit. One my friend was from Brazil, and one was from Argentina. Portuguese, Spanish, we are talking on English, and one day we little drink, and one of them said that his grandmother from Chernigiv
yeah.
in Ukraine, and other said that his like grandfather from Kiev. We are Jewish, one from Brazil, one from Ukraine, one from Argentina, but everyone from Ukraine.
Yeah, but that's why not? It's like
Everyone speaking other language, another. But we are Jewish, and in the same time we are Ukrainian, and
that's the same in Europe. Yeah,
one looking like
we are
Indian,
speaking
one
different
looking
languages
like
in Europe, and we are still
Portugal.
Europeans. That's not the same, but it's similar. Like if I will be in Portugal, I'm still European, and they are Europeans. Even we are speaking absolutely different languages, we are still like kind of like one bigger culture. Even the local cultures are different. Yeah. So yeah, but also the problem of Russia is that they are still looking for enemies.
Yeah.
They can't live without enemies.
Every time.
We are that's the difference. Europeans, like European Union, we are looking for new friends and new partners. Russia is looking for new enemies. Actually, Czech Republic, like my country, and United States, we were the first two countries on the list of enemies from Russia. Russia made the list of the enemies. And we were the first two countries. But now it's normal to be there. Like all European Union is on the list. And
we want
Australia.
to. We want to.
So it's not that difficult, So
Yeah, I know.
yeah, just send some weapons to Ukraine and you will be
help Ukraine. We took new problem from Arabian.
But we have the honor to be first there with the United States,
Yes.
Czech Republic, such like not very important country for Russia, and we were first with United States. So that's a big honor for us to be first enemies of Russia, because they can't live without enemies, because they need to cover the internal problems with they are showing that you know, you don't have that high like pensions, or you have big bad streets because of the enemies and something, you know. So because of the enemies, I don't know why, like, but they are just saying that everything bad in Russia is because of the evil West, you know.
Yes, yes, yes. Of course, Anglo-Saxons, they say.
Yeah, and I also don't understand why this, like, they are really like obsessed with Anglo-Saxons.
Anglo-Saxons.
They even don't know who is it.
Masons, reptiloids, everyone.
But if I'm asking them, like, and who are Anglo-Saxons, you know, because Anglo-Saxons originally are the people like the originally English people from the early medieval time, and the Saxons, they invaded England, you know. And they were mixed then, and they were called Anglo-Saxons because they were living in England, you know. So they were Saxonian people, like the Germanic people, and the older English people, and yeah. And why Anglo-Saxons, you know? So I'm not Anglo-Saxon, you know. I'm half Czech and half German because of my ancestors, you know. I'm not Anglo-Saxon, you know. And for them, I am Anglo-Saxon.
Oh, yes.
And I'm also Slavic because of I'm speaking Slavic language, so it's really confusing. So.
Maybe you are Mason too.
Maybe I'm what?
Mason.
Yeah, Mason. Yeah, of course.
And little bit illuminate.
Just 20% illuminate.
Yes, yeah.
20% Mason and 20% illuminate. Reptiloid, of course.
Reptiloid, of course, yes, yes, of course.
Yeah, it has to be, you know. So that's like, and it's kind of funny.
What an interesting world.
But anyway, I still have a good Russian friends, you know. Usually they are living here in Prague.
Me too.
And they are living
I
here
found
because...
a few really nice guys this in roulette. And I'm still talking with them. No one of them now in Russia.
Yeah, because my Russian friends, they are living here in Prague, you know. So and they are even going for the demonstration, and then they are demonstrating for Russia, but with this blue white flag, you know.
Okay.
So like this free Russia, you know. So
and here in
because
Israel,
there were some demonstrations,
I met a guy,
like, you know,
who from Russia historically, but he understood that Russia made really big problem for all the world and to Israel too. So he is my best friend and producer with on this meeting. He bought me a Ukrainian flag. He took me from home on these meetings. He is Russian, absolutely. He's Jewish Russian. He's not Ukrainian, but he may be more Ukrainian than me.
Yeah, because the friends, the Russian friends in Prague I have, they are also for Ukraine, of course. So, by the way, I will show some. I have some souvenir from Ukraine here. Ah, yeah, here. You will recognize that.
Oh, гривnas.
Yeah, I got them as a souvenir from my friend from Lutsk, from the Western Ukraine. I just asked
when
him,
I
like,
was in Ukraine last time in 2019, I must to buy a SIM card for telephone, Ukrainian SIM card. So my brother gave me Ukrainian money, but I forgot. And when woman in the shop said 70 grivnas, I gave 70 shekels.
Yeah.
I just didn't understand what I'm doing. And she started, whoa, look what he's giving me. Ah, it's not real money.
It's like monopoly money.
Yeah. And I understood, whoa, it's much more than 70 grivnas. So I'm really sorry.
No, it almost happened to me on Tuesday. I've been to Dresden. Just we made a trip with friends. Just, you know, because it's very close from Prague. It's like 1 hour and 55 minutes by bus. You know, so in the morning we went there, and in the evening, not evening, it was later afternoon. We are back to Prague. You know, and we are using in Czech Republic. We aren't using euros. We are using Czech crowns. You know, because here the people there is like 50-50. Like, yeah, somebody is like, yeah, keep the crowns, and somebody is no, just adopt the euros. You know, and it's like this. And yes, because I went to toilet, and I used to from Prague, because the toilet usually goes like 20 crowns, which is like $1 American, because it's not for free here. In Germany, the same, you have to pay. And I put there like 20 crown coins, and it fall down, from the automat, I was like, what's happening? So again and nothing. I was like, oh, I'm Germany, so I have to use euros, so.
I made the same mistake. I was in Budapest, and changed. Yes, but I changed shekels on euro, and I was with this euro and didn't knew what to do with it. No one needs euro. Everyone needs forints.
They are Czech crowns.
Nice.
This is like 4 euros. 4 euros 20, 30 or something like this. Like, let's say $5. Yes, $5.
I even don't have money. Everything virtual.
But it's stupid because it's like, if we are traveling, so I have in the wallet, I have the crowns. I know, like 1,000 crowns in cash, and I also have to carry euros, because it's, of course, usually you can pay with the card, but Germany is not very card friendly. So it's like in some places, especially in some small cafes, they don't accept cards. So you need euros, so for us, it would be better to adopt euros, especially if we are in the center of Europe,
Yes.
So our southern neighbor, Austria, they are using euros. Our northern and western neighbor is Germany, euros, Slovakia, euros. Only Poland, they are using zloty, so. So for me, I'm not that big nationalist to like cheer for Czech crowns, it's like, it's just money, it's like.
Yes.
And actually the crowns we are using since 1892, and it started in Austrian Empire, so it's like Austrian, it's not even Czech. So that's like, and some people, they say it's our Czech crown. No, it's not. It's Austrian, from Austrian Empire, so it's not Czech, because before we were using guldens, and before the guldens, yes, we have our like local Czech currency, which was called tolars, like dollar but with T, tolar. And before grosz.
Grosz.
Yeah,
Slavian.
But it was the coin. It was silver coin. It was called pražský groš, and it was something like a euro in the medieval time, because the pražský groš was famous in all Europe, and you could pay almost everywhere with pražský groš. It was like from 13 till 16th century, you could pay with pražský groš. So yeah, but
you know how to say money in Ukrainian?
I know that it's hroši.
Groszy. Of course.
No, it's hroši. But, which is funny for Czechs, because in Czech is grosz with G. In Ukraine is and the plural is in the Czech is groše, and in Ukrainian hroši. But hroši in Czech means plural of hippopotamus. Because hippopotamus in Czech is hroch, and plural is hroši. Which is funny for us if the Ukrainians, they say, for example, I don't have any hroši, so for us the hroši are the hippos, so.
I will tell to you one racist joke.
Can be.
When Arabian saying Allah Akbar, for us it's really funny, because Akbar, it's a rat.
Yeah. No, also in Ukrainian they have the word poshuk. If you are searching, like the searching is like poshuk, and poshuk in Czech language means somebody who is crazy.
Poshuk.
Yeah.
Little bit poshuk.
Yeah, your mom can tell you, like in Czech language, like nelítej tady jako pošuk, like don't fly, or not fly, but don't run here like a crazy, so Poszuk is it means crazy in Czech language, but in Ukrainian it means the searching. And even worse is if you in Ukrainian say shukati, but in Czech shukat is to fuck, which sounds very strange. because to like shukati in Czech is hledat. Which is similar to British English, like to look for something, because hledět and hledat. So, yeah, it's like in English to look for something, you know. So yes, so
we are looking who to.
Yeah, and we are in Czech. You can say I don't know, hledám peníze. I'm looking for money. Hledám peníze.
I must learn.
But if you will say in Czech, "Šukám peníze," it's mean like I'm fucking money, you know. So it doesn't make sense. And it comes, so, because that's very confusing for the Ukrainians. And now there is living a lot of Ukrainians because of the refugees, you know. But even before war, there was living like 170,000 Ukrainians before war. Usually for the working, you know, and also. The Ukrainians, they were relocating here for good, you know, and in the peak, like 2 months after the war started, there was like 500,000 Ukrainians, which is 5% of our population, you know, and we had the most Ukrainian refugees per capita. Yeah, because we are only 10 million people in Czech Republic. Now, some people, they went back to Ukraine. Some people, they were going, for example, to Canada, States, you know, and other countries. So now still here is living like 300,000 Ukrainian refugees, which is still a lot, but I was surprised that we handled with that quite good, you know. So most of the people, they have jobs already, so they are even paying taxes, so they are helping to our economy.
Yeah, I read it that refugees from Ukraine gave for Poland's economy like more than they wanted to take.
Yeah, it's the same here. The only problem is that it's mostly like the women with children, and of course you can't have the jobs for all the women, you know, because yes, we have a lot of free positions because in Czech Republic we have the lowest unemployment in all European Union, so we are still looking for people. The problem is the demographic, you know, the demography of the refugees, because it's usually the women with children, and you can't say to children, let's go to work, you know, like the children slaves, you know. They have to go to school, of course, you know, and the mom, if they can, the moms, they can work, you know, but if the children, they are small, of course, they have to stay at home with the children. So, but it's not a big problem as I thought it could be, you know. So actually, now they are actually helping to the Czech economy than more than they are receiving the money from some supports and something, you know. So yeah, and of course culturally it's not that big problem, because like it was like in 2016 with the immigration from like North Africa and the Arab countries, you know, because it was absolutely different culture, and they had big problems, you know, to be not assimilated but integrated in the society. Ukrainians, they don't have the problems, you know, or such big problems, you know. It's just some really small ones, you know. Even the language, because for them it's very easy. Even for the children, it's very easy to learn Czech language.
Yes.
Only the problems, they are the same words with the different meanings. Yes.
I have one last question. Do you have in your language word balagan?
Which means mess, right?
Like some crazy something, not on the place, like.
I know that the in Polish language is the word, because I'm hearing that from my Polish friends, you know, and also I think they are also using it in Slovakia, but in Czech language no. But I know that word, and it means that it's like in Czech we say bordel or nepořádek or something, you know, so like yeah. But
it's word from
mostly I'm hearing it from Polish.
It's word from Ivrit. It's an ancient word. And for me, interesting that this word I can find in a lot of languages.
In
like
Czech,
the word pogrom.
Máme pogrom, yes, but from from
Pogrom, I think it's a Czech
just a second.
Czech word. But we have in Russian, in Ukrainian, even in Ivrit.
But from Yiddish, we have, I don't know if it's from Yiddish or from Hebrew, meshuga.
Meshuga? Crazy.
Yes, that's what we are using normally. Like you can say normally to somebody that's meshuga.
Really, really.
Yeah, and but right now I can't remember. But we are using more like but mostly from Yiddish, you know, because the Jews, they were living here in Prague, because Prague it was called that Prague is the city of three nations, like the Czechs, Germans, and Jewish, you know. But yeah, so we are. But you know, I can't even remember which word is from Yiddish, which word is from German or from Czech language. You know, so because it's so mixed that.
In Lugansk, we talk on Surgic. It's mix of Russian and Ukrainian.
But
some words we used from Yiddish, but some words from new words from English. But
we are also using the Jewish word, the chutzpah.
Chutzpah.
Yeah.
Do you know word savlanut?
No.
It's in like absolutely negative to chutzpah.
No.
Chutzpah. Keep calm.
We don't say chutzpah, we say chutzpah in Czech.
Be like it's absolutely negative to chutzpah.
No, well, so but yes, if I would think, I will discover another Jewish words we are using, you know. But
its first word was what I hear in Israel, in Ben Gurion airport. This clerk said to me, "In Israel, you need a lot of savlanut, like to be without nerves, be calm." But it was wrong, because in Israel we need chutzpah. If everyone will be with savlanut, no one will do nothing.
And by the way, I know.
No. Better. Quicker.
Actually, I know a few Hebrew words from one of my colleagues. She was Christian, but her boyfriend was Jewish, you know, from Israel, but living in Prague. And I know especially one word. It's the bad word, zona.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I discovered what it means, the Israeli brand Kenvelo. I didn't know what does it mean, but now I know what it means. What is Ken and what is Lo, you know, so, and what is Kenvelo, it's like this.
So. There is a big problem in Ivrit. We have no words to say something bad. So we're using words from Arabic, but they don't have to. They're the same words, but in Arabic.
And can't you use words from Yiddish?
Few words from Yiddish, but it's not really bad words. So we're using Russian bad words.
Because I know that Yiddish is very close to German language, and in German language there is a lot of bad words.
In German, it's a little bit more okay. But people in Israel using Russian bad words.
Yeah, well, in Czech language we are using Czech and German.
Impression. When I first time I heard when Arabic guy was screaming on boss, they spoke on Ivrit, but he's Arabic. And few times I hear, I know this word. It's from Russian. Using
so we don't have like Russian words in the Czech language. It's because of the history, because we were never connected with Russia.
Yes.
So, but yeah, from as I said, some similar words with Ukrainians and Polish. Yes, Polish, of course. But the problem was that because Czech language was almost forgotten, and as I told you that we were speaking mostly German, you know. And when the Czech language was restored, so they were using this language from the villages, you know, or from the old Czech books, you know, and some words, because it was, you know, it was evolving. The language was evolving, so we needed some new words, modern words, which didn't exist, So we were, because that was the this patriotic movements or nationalistic movements, and they didn't want to use German words, so they were creating their own words, or they were borrowing it from Polish language.
Yes.
And the most funny things is that Polish language in medieval time was almost the same like Czech language. They had the same sounds, the same accents, many similar words, So it was like, it was just different dialect, but the Czech and Polish language was almost the same. And today, for example, Polish, they are not able to say the Czech sound, which is special Czech sound, which is rz. Polish, they can't say rz. But in medieval time, they were saying rz. Nobody is able to pronounce that. Even some Czechs, but so don't even try it.
One day I will do it.
Yeah, but like 600 years ago, Polish, they were saying that, like in the word, for example, tři, like three, 333, střecha, and such words, Polish, they were saying that, and now they are not. Now they are saying this rž. It's like, for example, if they say I can't say because Czech, if something is needed, so in Czech you say je to třeba. Polish, it's almost the same. Same. They say je no, they say trzeba. It's like I can't say the Polish variant, and the Polish, they can't say the Czech variant. But 600 years ago, it was absolutely the same.
My teacher of Ivrit never for 6 months said Stanislav Stashinsky. It was guy from Ukraine. He just can't. Stanislav Stashinsky for Ivrit language is something too
The most difficult Polish name is from the old Polish film. It was from the Second World War, and there was the scene with the German officer and some Polish.
I saw it.
Grzegorz Brzęczyszkiewicz. Yeah, I can say that, Grzegorz Brzęczyszkiewicz, but with the Czech the Grzegorz, because we say Grzegorz. Polish, they say differently, but normally I can say Grzegorz Brzęczyszkiewicz. So it's not that difficult for me. Yeah, of course, it's not very easy, but Brzęczyszkiewicz. Yes. Even it definitely doesn't sound like Czech name. Czech names are different than the Polish, the surnames, so we don't have this like Brzęczyszkiewicz, no, because Czech names are like Novak, Dvořák, also many German names, because it's like 50-50, so you can be Mlynář or Mila. So yeah, so that's like fun with languages, So.
Yes. What time in school I learned in the same time? Of course Russian, of course Ukrainian, of course English, and French, and German, and I was really close to learn Greece. But I say stop, 5 languages in the same time. I don't understand.
Greek language is like, if you know Greek, you look like really good intellectual, he knows Greek, so.
But in the finale, I don't know any of them.
Well, for me, it was like in the school I was learning, of course, Czech, because yes, German from my parents, but not in the ground school, but because of I was lazy. So in the high school, we could choose English and German, and I was lazy, so I chose German because I knew that already. So it was easier for me. And English, I was not studying English, not even in the high school and not even in the university. I know English from my mission when I was in mission in Bosnia, and we were our platoon was part of the British battalion. So we were 24 hours with the British soldiers, with our colleagues, and we were going to bars with them, we were working with them. So if you are 24 hours with the British, 6 months, so then you are able to speak.
It's like my friends from Brazil and Argentina. After 6 months of speaking, I started to understand what they are talking one with other. On Spanish with Portuguese mixed. I started to say and they think, what I got? What what do you understand? I really
Well,
started to understand.
but English is actually very easy language.
Yeah.
It's not difficult. For when I was speaking with Russians also, they told me that you should learn better Russian because it's easy for you as a Slavic again.
Okay. Okay.
I was like, but it's strange. But for Czech people, it's easier to learn German, even it's absolutely different language. But as we are living with them, so for us it's like more natural to understand first, to understand and then to speak German and to learn German, because even the accent is not, especially with Bavarian dialect. If Bavarian can speak fluently Czech, he's speaking without accent. And the same if somebody especially from Bohemia, from the land of Bohemia in Czech Republic, if we speak in Bavaria, like Bavarian, like Bavarian German, we also don't have accent. But in Saxony, yes, we have accent, and Saxonians, if they can speak Czech, they have accent. So
Yes.
it's like this. Because, for example, in Saxony, if you say 20 kilometers, in Saxony you say 20 kilometer. In Bavaria, 20 kilometer. So it's more, and in Czech it's 20 kilometrů, and 20 kilometer, it's like the same, like of course different words, but same sound,
Yeah. We can understand.
20 kilometer, liter. So if you are asking for a beer, so halb liter bitte. So in Bavaria, halb liter bitte. So it's yeah. So in German, it's almost different languages, like between Bavarian and Saxonian, So just I don't know the Anglo-Saxonian language, because maybe in Russia you will discover that also the Anglo-Saxonian language exists.
Like they saying that we are hearing now someone speaking on English. It's like they're saying all time that people from all the world in Ukraine fighting against, and they're making this writing of the language, and it's so funny because it's like someone 15 years old reading from somewhere something on English, but really bad. And
I have really big problem to find, if I switch to Russia here in Chatroulette, to find somebody who speaks English. It's really a big problem in Russia. It's like one from, I don't know, 60 people. And it's like, and I was thinking that because in Russia, the people, they are learning English at schools, right?
Yes.
But
not more.
They can't speak English,
I made the big mistake before Israel. I think that it's good to learn English. I will use it, and with English I will learn Ivrit. But in Israel, no one speaking English.
But if sometimes I'm switching to Israel,
few people for 7 years that speaking English. They know or French, or German, or Arabic. 50% of Israeli speaking Arabic, but not English.
But I was pretty surprised that in Ukraine, the children, I'm not usually talking with children, but like small children, like 10, 12 years, and they can speak almost perfect English, not perfect, but they can have conversation, The older people, of course, it's not that usual, but by children in Ukraine, it's pretty normal,
Yeah. I know even why. My friend, he was really good English speaking, and when I asked how it happened, he said that my father bought me games for personal computer.
PlayStation,
and every of them was on English.
Yeah. Because they are online, of course, with the headphones, talking with, if they are playing, in the, they have some squad, some like war game, so of course, yes, I know that. That's normal. But it's not bad way how to learn. actually every way how to learn another language is good, you know, if it's but if I'm speaking with Russians, I'm starting like for example, if I'm talking to them, so I'm starting like, good evening, do you speak English? And usually the answer is suka по-русски говори. It's very polite, you know, so
Do you know words пошел вон?
yeah, I know, I understand Russian, you know,
When I'm
but I
saying
not
shalom, they think, в смысле пошел вон?
no, yeah. But usually if I'm speaking with Ukrainian, so I'm starting conversation because the greetings are similar. For example, in Czech we say dobrý večer.
Mm-hmm.
And and if somebody's like surprised, like I'm starting like dobrý večer, and you are from Ukraine? No, I'm from Czech Republic.
Mm-hmm.
You speak Ukrainian? No, that's Czech. So and the same if I say in Czech we say děkuju. And in Ukraine it's děkuju. So it's almost the same, you know. So they are also like, you speak Ukrainian? No, that's Czech.
Now I see that almost everyone in Russia, they are starting like, привет, друже. They know 2 words,
Mm-hmm.
and they're using, I don't know for what.
Yeah.
So it's funny that they're trying to talk Ukrainian, but I am speaking Russian.
Oh, I'm just surprised at how like aggressive they are like in Russia. If I'm really trying to be polite, you know, to all of one, you know, all the people, and I'm really nicely asking, good evening, do you speak English? Сука, по-русски говори. Or иди нахуй, of course. But usually, of course, because idiots are everywhere, so even here, you know. But usually Ukrainians, if they don't understand, they just say in Ukrainian, they say, sorry, I don't speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's normal
I
reaction.
really checked it. I made VPN with Russia, I made VPN with Ukraine, yeah, I just checked how people are.
Yeah, but you can clearly see the difference, you know, between the majority of Ukrainians and the majority of Russians. I don't say that everyone, you know, because even some Ukrainians are idiots, you know, even some Czechs are, because everywhere are idiots. That's normal, especially if there are some teenagers. Yeah, that's of course normal. That they will just tell you fuck off, you know, and yes, that's normal. But you see the Russians like adult people, you know, they should behave like intelligent people, but сука по-русски говори.
It's really funny.
And I was trying to explain.
Not in real funny, but funny.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's not funny. But and to one, I was trying to explain English that I understand. He was from Russia. He could be like 40 something, you know. And I was trying to explain him that I understand Russian, but I can't speak Russian because it's very difficult for me to express everything, you know. So for me, it's of course most easy way is to express myself in Czech or German, or yes, English. I don't have big problems, or even sometimes yes, but it's not that difficult. And he told me, if you understand Russian, you have to speak Russian because you are just pretending that you can't speak Russian because you hate Russians.
Oh.
It's like, I was like really nice, like, you can't. I was like, I'm like I understand Russian like passively because of I'm watching videos and everything, but I'm not using that, so I can't express myself, you know, in Russian language, you know. And if I will speak Russian, it will be like robot, you know, who knows like each third word, you know, and it's like, no, you don't, you hate, you are Russophobic, you know. And just like, okay, fine, so bye. So because of it's like the thinking, like I can't speak Russian, so I'm Russophobic.
Yeah.
They can't speak Czech, so are they Czechophobic also?
It's like phobic. At first, it's like panic. It was to be afraid from someone, something. I'm not afraid.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of Russian.
But
I don't like them, really. I have this feeling. I don't like them, but I'm not afraid. I'm not a Russophobic in this image.
But they need, they ask again, we are strong and our countries, they are afraid of us, It's like, but about this that I don't understand. Not I don't speak Russian. If somebody from Russia would tell me, I understand Czech, but I'm not able to speak, I would be happy.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, I would speak English, and I would tell you, okay, I will speak English, and you can speak Czech. If you, so I can speak Czech, and you can speak English. If you can't speak Czech, so speak English. And I will be happy that I can speak Czech, But he was like, I'm Russophobic because I don't want to speak Russian. I can't speak Russian, not that I don't want, If I would be able to speak Russian, I don't have any problem to speak Russian, So
I have a Cameroonian neighbor. I just can't to say to him, tell me something in Russian. Of course, he will say, I can't to speak Russian. And I will say, okay, you are Russophobic.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, So it's like, if I just understand Russian and I'm not able to speak Russian, I am Russophobic. And if I don't understand Russian and I can't speak Russian, I'm absolutely Russophobic. Totally.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So everyone, not everyone, but the people from, let's say, Luxembourg, they are totally Russophobic because I don't know any Luxembourgians. They speak Russian, except some Russian immigrants maybe there, in Luxembourg, So, but it's like that's what the problem of Russians. They don't have any. They can't use the logic.
Absolutely, logic chains. Like, it's not really in Russian.
Yeah. And that's the biggest problem of Russia, because it's the people without logic, and that's it,
3 years I hear Slava России, glory to Russia, and I am just asking, what do you mean? Where is the glory?
And they tell you we are a big country.
Yes, every of them. I'm saying.
I was telling them. That,
I'm saying. Wait a minute. I'm from Israel. We are really good, big country, but really small in territory. Really small, less than Moscow region. It's not interesting. It's not absolutely not important. Like size, it's like from you need to know how to use it.
No, because with this logic, like Libya would be like a much better country than Switzerland because it's bigger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or
so poor people from Switzerland because it's so small country, and Libya is strong because most of the territory is Sahara Desert, but they are big, It's the same with Russia. Most of the territory is Siberia, the forests, such things. But I told them like, like, what do you mean like you are like big country? Like you have, and we have 140 million people. I was like, yeah, European Union have almost 400 million people. So yeah, but we have big territory, and what does it mean, So
in Bangladesh living more people than in Russia, but Bangladesh is really small country.
I also don't understand, like the only big in Russia is the territory, but it's not anything what it's like. What can you measure, like if it's like good or bad to have? We are a small country and we are living. Our citizens are living much better than in Russia, and we are just a small country.
We don't need territory. We need brains.
Yeah. We don't have oil, we don't have like diamonds, gold, well, just small, but we are not even exporting them because it's just a small gold, we have some silver, but that's it, we discovered that we have a really good very big amount of lithium, which today is important, but it's still in the ground, so it's like reserve, so our lithium, but we are not using that now. We are rich because of we have the industry, we are producing cars, we are producing machines, we are producing locomotives, trains, everything, we have a pharmaceutical industry, nanotechnologies, and a lot of stuff, beer, of course, beer. Yeah, and
sorry.
Yeah.
I wanted to say really last story about trolleybus, Czech trolleybus. Do you know it?
No, we don't use them anymore.
Yes, I know. So. The Soviet Union used this trolleybus from Czechia.
And tramways.
Yes, but in Crimea there is mountains, and they still using this Czech trolleybus because no one of modern trolleybus can't to go in mountains. Only these old from 15 years Czech trolleybus, they are really scary, but they're still working.
And you know, a lot of people in Russia, they are buying Czech cars, the Skoda cars, of course.
Yes, of course.
And Czech beers. But you know what Russian
commercial video what I saw in my life was about Skoda.
And but you know what is Russia exporting except some resources like oil? Nothing. You know what Russian can caviar.
Absolutely.
In Russian shop you can buy.
Of course, I have no things from Russia, but I asking them what they have Russian, and they can't to find.
They will tell you we have very good weapons like tanks, you know, but nobody's buying the Russian tanks now. Even we are buying the German Leopards, of course. We sent our old T-72s to Ukraine,
yes.
But modernized, not the same like in Russia. They are modernized, of course. They have better systems.
We have a trophy from the Egyptian war, or I even don't know, tank T-62 that was made in Kharkov.
Yeah. Now they are.
It was in Egypt army. Israeli army took it. It wasn't in movement, but they used like a big gun. And I have here in the park trophy.
But you know, even
Russian tank from Kharkov, it's really interesting.
That even if there is some Russian or let's say Soviet product like the weapon, which for example is the Grad, you know, the rocket launcher.
Yes, of course.
And which is quite old system. So in here in Czech Republic, we
modernizing of Katyusha. It's little.
Yeah, but we modernized that. But in the 80s we modernized it because for us it was old in that time already. So we modernized, and the Russian one can shoot only 40 rockets in the same time. The Czech one can shoot 40. But on the truck is prepared another 40, and in 2 minutes it can to be replaced, and so it can shoot like 80.
A big cassette with rocket.
No, it's like the cartridge there on the truck, because the truck is on the Tatra chassis, you know, the Czech car Tatra, and it doesn't need any special car for the loading, you know. It's already on the Grad, you know. It's called Vampire, the Czech system.
Yeah, of course I saw it.
Yeah, Ukraine. And RM70, it's the code name, RM70 Vampire.
Yeah, I saw photos.
And of course, the cabin is much better for the protection of the crew, because, as I told you, that the life of our soldiers are more important than the rockets, you know. So the cabin of the crew is very good protected, you know. And we gave them to Ukraine because we don't need them, because for us it's like older weapon. But for Ukrainians, it's better than the Russian Grads, of course.
Yes, for me, it's really stupid to fight with someone. We have for now like few wars in the world, economic wars. It's smart because it's good for every of these.
Yeah, but the topic was that Russia is not producing anything else than the weapons, and the weapons are not that good like the Western weapons, of course. So they are surprised that the people in Russia are not living that good like the people in Europe or in Israel, you know, because they don't care about the people. The people, if in some Russian village, you know, they don't even have the comparison, like because they think they are living okay, they are satisfied, you know, they have the chickens, you know, on the yard, you know, and they have the pig, and they think that they have perfect life, you know, because they have never been abroad, you know, to see how the people in Europe are living, you know, or in some developed countries, because and they are watching the Russian TV, and the Russian TV, they told them that they are living in the best country in the world, like in Northern Korea, you know. They are also isolated, you know, and the North, many, not everyone, but many people in the North Korea, they think that they are living in the best country in the world. So that's the problem.
Yeah, we know that we are living in the best place in the world, but we will not tell it to no one.
Yes.
Because we want to live here.
But you know, I actually don't know what does it mean best country in the world, because each country has some problems and have some like benefits, you know. I'm satisfied in my country, and I was traveling a lot of countries, especially here in Europe, you know. Yes, in some country they have better something, but they have worse something,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
of course.
So it's up, you know, if, for example, as I said, I don't like hot weather, so maybe in my pension I will choose to live in Norway, you know, but
Yeah,
not because of
why
like
not?
some better life, you know,
Uh-huh.
because we have, for example, we have cheaper beer than Norway, of course, and maybe better beer. So yes, but the normal life, like for the normal people, it's not that big difference, like to live here, because yeah, you have free healthcare in Norway, you have free healthcare, you know. Yes, of course, in Norway they have better salaries, so they can afford a holiday in Caribbean, and we can afford a holiday only in Italy or Spain, you know. But for me, it doesn't matter because I don't like hot weather. So for me, even the
I
Caribbean, it's not.
had friends on my last work. They were black, and I think that they are from Ethiopia. A lot of people in Israel from Ethiopia. And I asked
Mhm.
him, "Are you from Ethiopia?" He said, "No, I'm from Ghana." Oh, interesting. So you were a refugee? He said, "No, we were just we working, we taking money. Is everything good?" And I'm asking if there was a war in Ghana. He said, "No, never was war in Ghana. Ghana, it's like a paradise in Africa because it's country where wasn't war.
Mhm.
There is the best country in the world, I think."
Yeah, well, so no, actually, in my land, like in the Czech lands in general, we had the last proper war. Uh, it was the Third Years' War in the 17th century, because even the Second World War, they were just some small fights on the end of the war, you know, but not like proper front, you know, or something. So the last proper war, yeah, it was in the 17th century, the 30 Years' War in Europe. It was very like cataclysmatic war for our lands, you know. It was something like this, like the war, like for the people from the former Soviet Union. It was the Second World War, especially the offensive in Soviet Union. So for us, it was the 30 Years' War in the 17th century for our lands. But since that, yeah, there were some small conflicts like the Austro-Prussian wars, but they were just a few battles, you know. But located, they were just. It was not like in all country, you know, and not like civilian victims, you know. It was just like one army was standing there, one army was standing here. They were shooting, they were killing few thousand people, and they went go home, you know. So it was not like the war like in 20th century and now, you know. So it was something different. So yeah, we are also a very peaceful country. Since 17th century, of course. Before there were a lot of wars, of course,
We
and a lot of
can't to
conflicts.
say it. We're living in a war, but with a big subliminal note. Yeah, okay, we have a war. Okay,
But you know,
we will do nothing. We will go on the sea. We will drink beer. We are living in a war.
like
Okay.
Italians.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
When I
Yeah.
lived
No,
in
actually,
Odessa.
most of the Mediterranean nations, they are like this.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
In Odessa,
siesta.
it was the same, and I was angry on people because everyone really slow. But after it, I was in Kiev. and I was angry because everyone is running.
That's what the Ukrainians are saying about Czechs, that in Czechs we are like not lazy, but we are like slow, you know. That in Prague you don't see, of course you can see people running, but not that much like in Ukraine, like in the big cities like Kiev, you know, or Lviv or Kharkiv, you know. But in Prague it's the life is like slower and more quiet, you know. And I was
not like in Israel. It's everything slow, but
because you are Mediterranean country, you know, so
free.
there is, because of the weather, it's hot, so so yeah. But also about the natural of the people. My friends from Ukraine, they told me that why you Czechs are not trying to make like work more and make bigger money and everything, because we want to have quiet life, you know, and for us it's, we don't need to have millions, you know. So I would say that the Ukrainians and even the Russian friends, they are living here in Prague, they are more like ambitious, you know. We are not. We are like proper Central Europeans, like Austrians or Germans, you know. Germans and Austrians are, and Czech people, we don't need like millions and to just to work for work and for money, and we are working to have like quiet, comfortable life, you know. So there is this like work-life balance, you know, like we are working, but after work, nobody has the right to disturb us, you know, because it's our our privacy, you know. So even if my boss, and my boss is my friend, you know, if he is calling me like at 7 o'clock in the evening, he is apologizing me for disturbing me, and because he's calling me only if it's really necessary, but really it has to be something, some big problem, you know, and he's apologizing that he's disturbing me because it's my private time, you know. He's not paying me for calls, because the call is like work, you know. If he's calling me because of the work, so I'm actually working, so, and he's not paying me for that. So yeah, it's like rude, you know, like to disturb people, especially on the weekends, you know. And it was when I was working in the army, and even in the army, if your commander was calling you during the weekend because of something from the work, it was like very rude, you know. So so it's not like in America, especially in America. In America, you are working like 24 hours a day, because if somebody is sending you the email, you have to reply the email, you know, and everything. No, here the email. If I receive, actually I don't know even if I received the email from work, because I don't have the notification for working emails in my phone, because why? It's my private phone. So,
yes, of course.
yeah. So I'm solving the emails the second day in the morning when I have the working hours. So. And that's the difference between Europe and America, and also maybe because the difference between Europe and the European Union and Ukraine, because the Ukrainians they were like more like they just want to work, you know, like, and more and more.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
So like,
and bosses in Israel using it.
We too, because Ukrainians are usually doing the work which Czech people don't want to do.
Yeah.
And Ukrainians, they are happy they can do that, because they can.
I'm 100% Jewish, but I'm from Ukraine and I have this culture. I need to, when I'm going on the work, I need to do something. I need to watch in the end of the day that I made something.
Yeah.
If I'm on the work, do nothing, I'm starting to be aggressive.
You have to learn how to relax. That's it.
Yeah. That's what this woman said to me. Need הרבה סבלנות. You need a lot of סבלנות in Israel. But it's not working like this. See? If I will be in a bank, this woman, she's working there, she can't talk telephone with daughter or something, and I can wait. It can be a lot of time. So I need one time make bomb.
Yeah.
So, enough. I'm
I
the
was
first. After me, you can do everything.
I was talking with my Ukrainian friend, and he was like, because he's working as a chef in a restaurant, you know, and he has the second work, and he's helping on the train station with the cleaning of the coaches, you know, just some not qualified work, but he just like to make the money, you know, so it's fine, you know, it's like, and he was asking me, but like you are working, because I'm not working like full time, because you know I'm receiving my army pension, so I don't need to have like full-time job. So I'm working for a small family company for my friend, you know, and I'm working like, I know, 3, maybe sometimes 2 hours a day, because I don't need more, you know. And he was like, if you have so lot of time, why are you not working more and you will have more money? I was like, yes, you have more money than me, even with this like basic work, like this like cleaning of the coaches, and it's more qualified the job to be the chef in the restaurant, you know, of course, and they have good money, you know. So he's earning more money than me, but I don't want to be at work like 10 hours a day, you know? Because I will be exhausted, you know, and I have not lot of money. I have enough money to have like normal life, to buy the food. I have the flat where to live, you know. I can afford the holiday, you know, once a year during the winter somewhere in the mountains, you know, and in the summer somewhere by the Mediterranean Sea. And yeah, I can have some trips in the Europe, like to have this, we call it like Euro weekends, that you are going for the weekend to Paris, you know, or Milano or Berlin, you know. So yeah, and I don't need like to save money. Why to save? Why to have like millions in the bank? Well, I will receive my pension, so yeah, I don't have to pay by the doctor if I will be sick, because I have paying this mandatory insurance. Everyone is paying, and if you can't pay, the state is paying for it. If you are, for example, unemployed, so the state is paying for you, and you don't have to give it back. It's just automatically you have the insurance. So why should I don't want to spend my life just in the work, you know?
Yeah, I understand you.
And
That's why I lived my last place of work, and there was 12 hours a day, plus 2 hours is going on work. So I just came home, slept, and
eat, sleep, work, eat,
I
sleep,
just
work.
didn't understand where am I, what I'm doing, what a day today. So I lived, and now I found work 11 years, 11 hours. But it's 10 minutes from home. I don't need 2 hours.
But he's satisfied like this, like to work 10 hours a day, you know, and he's saving them. Yeah, okay, he's helping his parents in Ukraine, in Lutsk, you know, but he's sending them like I don't know, 300 euros. For them, it's a lot.
Okay, it's a really good money.
And it's enough for them. But anyway, he can save like a lot of money for these 2 jobs, you know. But yeah, he will have money, but he has the money, but he doesn't have a life.
Yes.
So I choose the life, you know. I don't need to have. Yeah,
I
he's
met
also
here a
Muslim.
guy from Ivano-Frankivsk, from Ukraine. He was not official here, but every 3 months he took like license to be here more 3 months, and in this way he was maybe 5 years here, something like this. But he came in his 18.
18.
18.
18. Well,
Yeah, I understood. So for these 5 years, he bought apartment in Ukraine and car. In 23 years, he have everything.
but you know, I also have everything. You know, I'm 49. Well, I have place where to live. I have my job, which is like kind of it's not part time, but I'm not working a lot there, because we don't have like working hours from 9 to 5. You know, it's like it's I'm doing some administrative for this company, you know, taking care about the e-shop, you know, and talking with some foreign partners, you know, and so it's really easy job, you know. But and I'm receiving the money from the army pension, you know, already. So I have everything what I need, you know. Of course, yes, it would be nice to have millions, you know, but if I don't have them, I don't feel the need to make them because I don't need it. Not yet. If I will receive them, will be nice.
Okay,
Yes.
it will be nice, yeah.
But I don't want to spend my life to make millions, you know, because I will spend my life at work. I want to enjoy my life, you know, because I have only one life. Well, maybe if I will be reincarnated, but I'm not sure about this. No, so I'm not sure what can be afterlife. So let's better spend the life like to have fun, because you don't know what will be afterlife.
That's why when I'm leaving work, one other and one other and one other, and people saying, what you will do? Whatever, I will rest a few days and I will find a new job. What I will do, there is no
I
problem.
understand, you know,
More than 40 places of job I changed in Israel for 7 years.
Actually, I understand the people, they like to work, you know, but because we are all different, you know, some people, they really like to work and they are very active and they like it and they are enjoying that.
Yeah.
And that's fine because it's, if they like it, so I can't tell them don't work because it's not nice. My life is my life, and if they like to work, good for them. It's like this, you know. I was just talking about the differences between Ukrainians and Czech people. That we are also like slower, and we are enjoying the life more. And the Ukrainians they are like trying to work and work and work and make the money and to be very active, you know. And actually, for us, it's good, you know, because Czech people, we are more like spoiled, you know. We want to make just the work which is like easy and not very physically, you know. So
Israeli people do the same, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but many Ukrainians they are working on the like constructions in the restaurants and everything, and Czechs are for this work like. But you can make nice money even on the constructions here, you know. The workers, they are really good paid, you know. So it's not like that they have small money because of it's not
I know.
qualification, you know. It's but my grandfather, and he was German, and he was saying that it's not. How is it called in English? I will try to say that in Czech if you will understand. Není umění nadřít se a vydělat si, ale je umění nenadřít se a vydělat si.
No, not everything.
So I will try in English. It's not. I will use different words, but the same meaning.
Okay.
It's not smart to have like a heavy physical job and make the money, but it's smart to have light job and make the money.
Yes. I know it, because in Odessa I will work in theater, on television, and after I made movies. Like everything in creative, this way. Here in Israel, they think that this is hobby. What your profession? I'm saying it's not a hobby. It was a profession a long time. Okay, but one time I met a guy. He's working theater, and he's saying, "Why you don't go into ours?" I'm saying, because you taking not enough money. And he said, but we have a lot of work.
Yeah, that's like
what I need everything.
like you don't need to have a lot of work. You need just to have a lot of money, but not a lot of work.
Less to work and more to take. Absolutely.
That's what my grandfather said. Yeah. So
I want to don't do nothing.
So it's like this. You can be idiot and you can have good money, but you have to work a lot. You know? If you are not idiot, you can have the same money, and you are working just like 10% of of him. Like, so yeah. So even in the army, when I was working in the army, I was working like 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, like the normal standard like working week. Mostly even I was most of the time I was like platoon commander, then deputy of the company commander, and then company commander, and it was not very stressful. So I was enjoying that, because yeah, the Czech army is more about fun, friends, talking, coffee, cigarette, it was Czech army is really, it's the best army to have relaxed. So it's like it's definitely different than Russian army.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's really like, and even when we had the soldiers, they were coming to army, like the normal guys, they were coming to army for 1 year when we had the conscript service. So everyone has to go to army for 1 year. And when it was till 2004, since 2004 we have only professional army, but till 2004, even the guys, the young men, they were coming to army for 1 year, and when they were leaving, many of them, they were crying. They didn't want to go home because they had the good friends there,
Yeah,
and
I understand.
it was like, yeah, I saw when the soldiers, when the new soldiers, they came there for the first day, they were kind of like not afraid, but not scared, but they weren't sure where they are, like, because they were living all the life with the parents, and now they are in the army, no parents, strange like people there, in uniforms. But after a few days, they realized that actually it's like friendly, and it's yes, of course, you have to do some training, but nobody is beating you, nobody is shouting on you, yeah, except the like some drill training, of course, but not normally, we were talking with the soldiers like normal, of course, so and they were surprised that the army is actually not that bad,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
and they had a lot of new friends there, but really good friends. So yeah, even the army in Czech Republic is like easy. So and it's maybe because
I'll tell
we
you
are not in
one more
danger.
thing. Uh, a lot of friends in Ukraine without work now. So I just started to search something for them and found vacancies for army.
Hmm.
But it's a good works, I must say. It's like video editing operators, like
Yeah,
CNN managers, like IT engineers, like a lot of professions,
of course. Yes, yes, yes.
not military,
Yeah. Well, it's the
with
same.
with a good salary, I must say.
No, actually, here even the normal soldiers, like the basic positions, like I know driver and gunner,
Yeah.
they also have good money, like because it's profit. It's like by police,
Mm-hmm.
in police on the basic positions you have also not bad money, so that's the same in the army here, but of course, yeah, it's like this, the average salary in Czech Republic is like $2,000. It's not a lot, but for us, we are post-communist country, and $2,000
It's
not
a
bad,
normal
it's the
money.
average, salary here, according to statistics. It's not
Mm-hmm.
just my thought, I was watching the statistics for 2023. And in the army, on the basic position, you can have like $1,600 a month,
Mm-hmm.
which and lot of benefits. The
Yes,
army,
yes,
of
of
course.
course,
So
of course.
you have in Czech Republic in the army, you have 37 days of holiday, paid holiday,
Mm-hmm.
plus 14 days. It's called preventive rehabilitation. It's the special term in here,
Mm-hmm.
and these 14 days you can spend it. It's like the hotel resorts owned by army.
Mm-hmm.
In the Czech Republic, it's for free, and you have the like massages,
Well,
food
cool.
for free, like it's like full pension, or you pay only for the alcohol if you want
Mm-hmm.
to have some drinks, of course, and it's the 14 days. And in the NATO countries, they have also these facilities owned by country, and in other NATO countries, you have 30% discount. It's not for free, but you can go, for example, to
Okay,
Spain,
I
to
didn't
these
hear it.
military
Yeah.
areas, this like hotel resorts, and you have 30% discount. So this, and a lot of you are receiving the extra money for holidays, you know. So yeah, for young people, it's not bad, you know. And of course, if you are like specialist, like IT specialist or something, and you are joining the army, you are receiving some high, like it can be some like a high sergeant rank or officer rank, of course. And then you can earn even much more, like it can be like $4,000, $5,000, you know, depends on the profession and how it's needed, you know, in the army. And there is also not a difference between the salary, for example, the doctor in the army, in the military hospital, and the doctor in like normal hospital, you know, so that's the same. Just actually the military hospital in Czech Republic is the best hospital here. But it's not only for soldiers. It's for every. If you need,
if you need
some special care, so you can go there even like a civilian. You know, it's up to your doctor. If your doctor, like your personal doctor, if he decided you need this special care, so he's sending you to military hospital. If they have something what's not in other hospitals, you know. But of course, the soldiers, they have me as a, because I'm the army veteran, you know, and if I will have broken leg, you know, so I will go to military hospital, so because I'm a soldier, you know, in reserve, but still soldier. So yes.
I will tell you a joke. Maybe you heard it. Before war, NATO was thinking to take Ukraine in NATO or not. Now Ukraine is thinking to take NATO or not.
Well, yeah, because of course, because after this war, Ukraine will have the army with the biggest experience, you know, from the real fights. Yeah, for example, our army, we were going to the missions. I have been to missions, but I have been to mission in Bosnia and former Yugoslavia, and actually it was safe for us. We were peacekeeping mission, and the local people, they were not shooting when they saw that we have the Czech flags, you know. Everyone, like, it doesn't matter if they were the Muslims, if they were the Croatians, if they were the Serbians. We were absolutely like, we were friends with we were in jokes, we were saying like, you know, the old Western movies, you know, the cowboys, you know, and the Indians. So we were saying in jokes that we Czechs are friends of all Indians, you know. So because Muslims were friendly to us, Serbians were friendly to us, you know. We were going there to search the illegal weapons in the houses, in the villages, you know. But of course, we were nice to the local people. We were normally knocking the doors like civilized people, and we were apologizing that we were very sorry, but we have to search the house because of the illegal weapons. If they have the illegal weapons, they can give us like voluntary. We will write the confirmation that they gave it to us, and the weapons, they will be destroyed. They were taken to Sarajevo, and they were destroyed there, you know. And the people, because we were like nice, we were apologizing everything, and we were not even carrying the weapons. So I had just the pistol. As an officer, I had the pistol, and our driver, he stayed in the car, and the submachine guns, we left them in the car, you know, because it was not dangerous for us, you know. And the people, so we were searching the house, which, you know, it was uncomfortable for us because you are searching like other people's house, you know, so it was not. But we were trying to. You can go with us to see that we are stealing something, you know, or we don't want to break something, you know. So please go with us, and you will see what we are doing. And many times the people, after we searched the house, you know, which was not nice actually from us, but we had to do that, you know. They were inviting us for lunch. They were offering us beer, you know, or some spirits, you know. So. And doesn't matter if they were Muslims or Serbians or Croatians, you know. Even Muslims, they were offering us the spirits and beer. Because in Bosnia, even the Muslims are drinking. So yeah. So yes, if you are nice to the local people, they are also nice to you, you know. So and we were not behaving like Russians in Ukraine. We were really behaving like really peacekeeping forces, you know. So, yeah, so we were helping to the people, but really not like Russians are helping. We were really helping. We were asking them if they need to some help with the infrastructure, or we were there during the summer, and it was quite dry there, and some people in the dwells, they were without the water, so we were bringing them like our reserves of the water from the base, the bottled water, normally like bottled water. So we were going to some villages in the mountains there, and we were bringing the water to the people. But yeah, it was not a proper war for us, So
Yeah, understand.
And we were not like going to the city, to the cafes, and for shopping. No, normally, because it was not the cities. They were not destroyed like in Ukraine, like Bakhmut or Vuhledar or these cities, So yeah, there were some damages, but you can't even compare that with Ukraine today. Some destroyed houses, but not like cities completely ruined, Because our
There
base
is
was
Ukrainian phrase, but it's absolutely about what Russians do. Що не з'їм, то понадкусю. Something that I can eat, I will bite.
Yeah.
It's what Russians do.
Yeah. Because if they can't have it, at least they will destroy that. Yeah.
So who is barbarian?
That's obvious, No, but we were talking about the Ukrainian army, that it will be the most experienced army after the war, so it will be good benefit for the NATO, of course. But at the same time, it will be also benefit for Ukraine, because if you are in the alliance where it's like 30 other nations, and countries, so Russia won't have any chance. As some Russian propagandists, they say, yeah, we will attack Estonia, but they won't, because they know that if they will attack Estonia, so all the NATO will attack Russia. And if the Russians, they have problem to take one local city in Ukraine, like the Bakhmut, so how they want to fight against like the 30 much more modern armies, much more professional armies, with better weapons, better equipment, because what we are giving now to Ukraine, the modern weapons, of course we are keeping the most modern weapons here,
Yes.
So how would Russia, how they would like to fight with NATO, they can't, they just can't. So
What biggest mistake what they did, they brought, I forgot this word, Cossacks. Every Ukrainian know in anthem we are from the Kazakhs.
Yeah, in Czech it's
but
yes.
Now it's working. It's right time to understand what this song means. So all we are Cossacks. All we are fighting together. All we are.
You see how important is the motivation in the war. Because Russians, they are absolutely without motivation. Absolutely, they are there because they have
war. They don't know why they are fighting.
Yeah, and the Ukrainians, of course, they know, because they are fighting for the families, for the houses, for the land, which is the home, And the Russians, they are there because we are here, because they called us, because of the mobilization, or because of the money. Well, and that's really not the motivation. That's like because I'm, for example, I don't know if you are watching the Volodymyr Zolkin
of
videos.
Course.
Yes. But
almost every day.
Almost everyone, the prisoner of war, is saying that I don't know why I'm here, because I'm here because of I was mobilized and I had to go, and absolutely without motivation, absolutely, So with such soldiers, you can't win any war, because they are not motivated to fight. They are fighting just because of they don't want to die, and but. So no, it can't be like this, So it's the most important in the war. It's even more important than the most modern weapons. The motivation of the soldiers. Of course. That's why Ukraine in the beginning of war was able to hold the Russian attack even without the modern weapons, but because of the motivation of the people and of the soldiers, of course.
This is the same absolutely situation like for independence in Israel.
Yeah, yeah.
We had no absolutely weapon.
By the way,
Grenade, pistolas.
Do you know that the Czechoslovakia was the first country which was helping
Yeah,
to Israel
I know.
in
Messerschmitt
1947?
we took. Even sometimes Israeli pilots used Messerschmitt with this cross.
Yeah, yeah, and well, actually, because they were trained here, not because the Messerschmitt, they were also particularly produced here in the Czech lands during the Second World War. So a lot of them they stayed here. So the Israeli pilots they were trained here on them. Just then the Messerschmitt was modernized a little. It got a different name. It was like Aero something like the Czech brand, but it was still like the base was the Messerschmitt, and they were sent to Israel, of course.
Yes.
Together with the pilots, they were trained, the Israeli pilots, of course, and some guns and something, So yes. But then it finished because of the new. Because from the 1948 there was the communist regime, and because of they were collaborating with the Soviet regime, and Soviet regime was not very like pro Jewish, Actually, the Soviet regime was pretty like anti-Semite,
Anti-Semitic,
yeah. Especially Stalin, Stalin was like a big anti-Semite, So yes, because Czech, especially
they think that Israel will be like a socialistic place in the Middle East. The same time,
Jews
Great Britain thinks that we will be foremost for Great Britain. In the same time, United States think that Israel will be foremost for United, but Israel is country for Jews. So we are really sorry. It's not for someone but us.
I know that like Israel and the Czechoslovakia and now Czech Republic, we always had like good connections because even the Jews here in Czech lands, they were living like perfectly okay before the war, before the Second World War.